My name is Adrian and welcome to Fight Scene Breakdown. On this series we take a look at your favorite fight scenes from various forms of media and analyze them from a martial arts perspective. Today we're examining Jack Reacher's incredible prison fight scene from his self-titled series on Amazon Prime. Jack Reacher used to be a special investigator for the US Army Military Police and now explores the country he once served. He leads a simple life and travels with only the bare minimum essentials, but will always try to right a wrong, no matter how big or small it may be. Without spoiling too much, this fight happens early on in the series. Jack Reacher finds himself in prison and needs to fight his way out to survive. In terms of the overall context of the show, the fight is quite pivotal as it sets the tone and style of all subsequent fights that follow. Jack Reacher is a former highly decorated military policeman who is exceedingly well trained in close quarters combat. Not only that, he's also an incredibly massive and strong individual, sort of like Chris Redfield but with 100% less zombies. According to stunt coordinator Buster Reeves, story and emotions are a big factor for establishing rhythm and pacing within the fight scene. The way he puts it, a fight scene is like a violently choreographed dance with a tempo, beats, and acting moments. In this case, the setting of the fight proceeds directly from the needs of the story and a reflection of Reacher's tactical mindset. As Buster Reeves elaborates in an interview, Jack Reacher knows he's being followed by someone, and since he doesn't want to create a scene in the prison yard, he goes to a quiet and secluded location, which would be the bathroom in this instance. This prison fight is a great example of how to use coverage in your scene to heighten the action instead of trying to hide anything, and that is further confirmed by Buster Reeves, as he notes that he likes to design his action so it can be followed in one shot, but can be cut up if need be. According to him, shaky camera and quick cuts, that's the easy way to film action. And I wholeheartedly agree, as I've highlighted multiple times in my videos since the very beginning of this series back in 2016. The sequence in the fight demonstrates how well the chosen camera angles and cuts complement the action on screen. We begin with a low angle medium wide, showing off Reacher stopping the potential knife attack and move the camera to the right, only to follow Reacher's movement. We stay on the shot to see a subsequent shove, and since that moment is over, we cut to a different angle where we see Reacher quickly dispatch another opponent with a couple strikes and then pan over to see him run off with him. Because he quickly runs out of room in the shot, we cut to a much wider shot near the floor to see Reacher kick the enemy on the ground and quickly cut back to a closer shot to highlight the strong elbow strike delivered by Reacher. As it can be seen, each camera movement served to complement the technique on display, and there were only cuts for practical and dramatic reasons, either to highlight an impact or simply to continue following the action when there was no more space on the screen. This kind of cinematography and editing is present for the entire fight sequence. As mentioned earlier, Jack Reacher is a retired military police officer, which gives us an excellent insight into the fight choreography. Within the military and law enforcement, they practice what is known as combatives. It's a term used to describe hand-to-hand combat systems primarily used by members of the military, law enforcement, or security personnel. They are based on martial arts, but are not distinct disciplines. Due to his background in military police, he is most likely to have been trained in the modern Army Combatives program. It's a refined self-defense system drawing from several martial arts, as Lee Child wrote in his original Jack Reacher novel, Killing Floor. A military policeman deals with military lawbreakers. Those lawbreakers are service guys, highly trained in weapons, sabotage, unarmed combat. Rangers, Green Berets, Marines, extremely well trained, at huge public expense. So the military policeman is trained even better with weapons, better unarmed. Nick Santora, the showrunner of Reacher, was determined to bring the character to life in the most authentic way possible, down to literally how he fights. He details how he would watch previous fights together with other key creatives and try to keep almost all the fight choreography that was in the books. This led to an intricately designed and awesome prison fight scene choreographed by the stunt coordinator Buster Reeves. You've seen several of the strikes on display here before on Fight Scene Breakdown, including the various elbow strikes, the low side kick, and of course, the But what makes them stand out is the way they were choreographed and incorporated into the scene while taking advantage of Alan Ritchson's massive frame. According to the United States Army Combatives course, one of the primary goals when training should be instilling the courage to close the distance. The willingness to close in on the enemy is a defining characteristic of a warrior, and Reacher takes that to heart. He closes the distance by taking out as many attackers as he can with quick, powerful strikes, including the headbutt, cross, back fist, and an elbow strike. But when you're a guy as big as Reacher, a simple shove can be a devastating blow too. This thought process carries over to when he hooks this guy by the neck with his arm and simply runs across the bathroom with him as if he were in a pro wrestling match. This kind of choreography of taking advantage of Reacher's size and strength is also seen later when instead of going for a more traditional double leg takedown, Reacher just up and lifts the man and carries him like a water jug across the room and into the wall. Reacher's deadlier attacks are also somewhat of a rarity in a choreographed scene, but are part of what make it stand out and fit in perfectly with his combative's background. And that is to, as the combative's course puts it, finish the fight. This is why he goes for the eye gouge, for slamming hands on objects, and perhaps most brutally, goes for an intense ankle break by just stomping on his opponent. These are all finishing techniques that are meant to end the fight for good. What also makes the choreography quite realistic is that Jack isn't portrayed as untouchable, as he does tank quite a few hits by his opponents, but keeps going, showing both his strength and fortitude. If you enjoyed this analysis and would like to see more of them, I invite you to check out the Fight Scene Breakdown playlist, as I've already analyzed several legendary fight scenes. I'd like to thank each one of my Patreon members, as their contribution helped in the making of this video. If you'd like to contribute and appear in the credits in the future, my Patreon page is Godzillarex, and it's in the description below. What did you think of Reacher? What other fight scene would you like to see broken down? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more awesome videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.